Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my YouTube channel. We are going to talk today about vertical and horizontal lines. So first of all, let's do a reminder. A vertical line is one that goes up and down. A horizontal line goes from left to right, kind of like the horizon. So there's going to be a little bit of difference when we talk about this in the intercepts. So if we were to graph something, let me just put my graph up here. And just a reminder, this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. And I say, I want a point right here, and I want it to be vertical. It's going to go through this point. So first of all, I want to notice, what axis is this crossing? Well, it's crossing the x-axis. Then all I have to do is figure out at what point is this right here. Well, let's say this is -3. So the equation of our line would be x equals -3. Let's do one with a y. So I'm going to actually do one right here. And if this is my line, it's horizontal. And what axis is it crossing? It's crossing the y-axis. And then I just say, where is it crossing the y-axis? Well, it's crossing the y-axis at 2. So this is the equation of my line. We're going to break this down into a table for you guys. So for the red line, which I'll do in red, we have our x and our y, which means that x is always going to be -3. It does not matter where it is on the y. So on the y, if it's 0, if it's 10, if it's 40, if it's -10, it's always going to be -3. And that goes with our red line. The green one, though, if I broke it down into a table, y would always be whatever that value is, which is 2. So let me just fill that in for us really quick. We can put anything we want in for x at this point. So it could be -7, it could be 0, it could be 4, it could be 8. It doesn't matter as long as the y is a 2. And these are vertical and horizontal lines. So you have to remember that whatever they are, it has to be these equations. So we are graphing specifically those equations. And I know that can be confusing, especially when we're talking about intercepts and graphing those. So those are vertical and horizontal lines. I love them because they're just so nice and quick and easy. Now, let's talk about intercepts. So we have two different ones because we have two different axes. And if we have, so let me just put a point here and say that this one is going to be 0 and 5. And then I will put a point here. And this one is going to be 7, 0. I'm going to connect these. And I'm just going to do it as dashed lines so you guys can kind of see. Make things a little bit easier. Don't forget we want those arrows. Okay, so these are the two intercepts. This is the one that crosses my y-axis. So let's label these again. This crosses my y-axis, therefore this is my y-intercept. The green one is the one that crosses my x-axis, and therefore it is the x-intercept. And that's all there is to it. There is a difference, though, between your intercepts and vertical and horizontal lines. Do you see the difference at all? Vertical and horizontal lines don't cross more than one axis. With an intercept, these 2 points are part of a graph. So I'm just going to make one up, by the way. So this could be y equals 3x plus 5. So we're going to pretend that this is y equals 3x plus 5, this blue line, but all we're doing is looking, okay, where does it cross the x and y intercepts? Can we make a graph from that? Yes. Could we look at a graph and find the intercepts? Yes. And that's just where they're crossing the x and y axis. So sometimes you're going to need to be able to state what they are, or you will need to be able to graph. So you'll be given a graph and say, okay, here's my x and y intercept, or here's the x and y intercept, let's just connect the points. So you're just connecting the dots and making a line. And that's pretty much all there is to this. Remember, if you have questions, please let me know.